Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to another Kaldheim Premier Draft. This pack's got a lot of ways we could go, a lot of powerful cards. I'm not actually sure which one is best, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. So for my wheelhouse, my cup of tea, we have Fearless Liberator, 2 mana 2/1, and you can boast to make more 2/1s with this card. So if you play this turn 2 and your opponent doesn't manage to get a creature out in time, you just start making 2/1s out of this card, which is very solid. That being said, I don't think it's as good as the blue cards in here. We have Icespine Pillar, fantastic in a slow, snow kind of control deck, and Behold the Multiverse, fantastic in any blue deck, just a great draw spell. Struggle for Skemfar, great green removal spell. Shimmerdrift Veil keeps us open and allows us to splash any color we need. I think it's probably between Behold, Icespine Pillar, Liberator, Struggle here, and mainly between the blue cards. Obviously, I'm not much of a blue player, not much of a snow player, but I think I'm going to go with Icespine Pillar here. This card is just very powerful and very rude, and being able to pick up a second copy of Icespine Pillar immediately can lock us into that lane very aggressively. Although we could have just had double Fearless Liberator and really just been doing doing my aggro kind of stuff. But even there, obviously the best stuff you can be doing in your aggro decks is curving out every turn, 2-drop into 3-drop into 4-drop, and for this boast ability to be good, you're obviously not casting your 3-mana card on turn 3, instead you're just playing another 2/1. So it is not as good as it looks, but it's still solid. I'm just going to take a second Icespine Pillar here. Although Glittering Frost is a really good snow ramp and fixer, we can take Icespine Pillar and still end up in just like a blue-white kind of control deck with some snow lands. I do think Feed the Serpent is great removal. Rimewood Falls is a dual snowland, and it's the two best colors to have your snowlands be. Green and blue are the most important colors for a snow deck, green being number 1. So I think Rimewood Falls is the kind of snowland you should take very highly if you're trying to do snow stuff, and we've taken 2 Icespine Pillars, so we should probably be doing snow stuff here. That being said, I do think there is an argument for the Feed the Serpent because it's such a great removal spell. Although black is one of the weaker colors, blue-black snow is a thing. Both of those colors do have some cards that care about snow. Obviously with double Icespine Pillar we would. And then there's like Rune of Flight, which can be good in blue-red or blue-green when you have big red or green creatures that don't have flying. This rune is quite solid, and any of the runes are super playable. They replace themselves at least. I think I am going to scoop up a Rimewood Falls here. And another snowland, Glacial Floodplain here. We'll just keep taking the on-color tapped snowlands, blue and something else. The other options here are not that exciting. There's Horizon Seeker and Glittering Frost, which are both good for helping mana fix and splash things in a snow deck, but they would be for like base green. With double Icespine Pillar, we know we're doing blue, and we could even end up with just base blue snow with a bunch of tapped blue snowland. So I'm just going to go with the Floodplain here, honestly, over these two. Although they are good, they would definitely be options. This pack is pretty weak. If I were trying to draft some kind of aggressive deck, maybe I'd just take like a Battlefield Raptor for white-red. I'd probably take Great Hall of Starnheim if I was trying to do any white aggressive deck, because this card's just a really good land. I think this is the most powerful card in here outside of the maybe green stuff. Glacial Floodplain it shall be. Snow-covered Island, a very high pick for snow decks. Untapped blue snow source is good, and the blue cards here are again not very exciting. Harbinger and Undersea Invader. These are the kind of filler cards that are going to go late in almost any pack, so we can scoop those up after we know we have good snow sources. There's also Sculptor of Winter. If you have enough snowlands, this is going to be good. And we are taking snowlands pretty highly, so we could try to focus on making sure that would be good enough. But for now, again, I'm going to draft the really weird way here, the snow way, which is taking those snowlands really highly. And the fact that we've just taken a bunch of snowlands, all of these are partially blue. The only actual cards we have are blue. Every single one of our cards is blue. So we can just take Narfi here and maybe be blue-black snow, because this is just great in a snow deck when you have enough snow sources to bring it back from the grave. Even if you don't have a ton of snow creatures or zombie creatures, being able to just keep getting this back from the grave is solid. I think I'm pretty good to take Narfi here. Obviously taking it over a snowland, but we've taken these snowlands aggressively enough. We already have 3 of them, and they're all completely on color. Not completely on color, but you know what I mean. Like, comes into play tapped blue source, even if we don't need white or green. Whereas this is completely off color right now. We don't have any green or white cards yet. I'm going to scoop up that Narfi. Now we can take Glittering Frost. This is getting pretty late for that kind of card. Do some kind of very multicolored snow deck. But we can also take Grim Jogger and try to focus in on just like blue-black snow. It's a snow creature to go with Narfi. We'll have plenty of Snow Mana to use its ability. We are definitely playing blue. We're definitely playing black. Glittering Frost would definitely push us in the direction of playing green as well. We have a green-blue duel. Glittering Frost might be more fun for like the 5-color sort of snow thing, but I don't know. Grim Jogger is also just not that powerful. Yeah, I'll take Glittering Frost. I do like that the Berserker would keep us to just 2 colors, but now we get a Volatile Fjord this slate. We're only taking it over a Raven form, which is not that great of a removal spell, because it does leave them with a 1/1 flyer. You can think of this as like a Frogify or something, except it leaves them with a 1/1 flyer instead of a 1/1 with no text, so it's worse than a lot of other blue removal we've seen. It just looks better because it exiles the thing. Taking Volatile Fjord, taking Glacial Floodplain. We're doing 5-color snow, I guess. It's that or Karfell Kennelmaster here. Fearless Liberator Wield. Wow, red aggro would be open apparently. But I mean, snow's open too. We're getting all these snow tapped lands pretty late now. What do I want to play here? Nothing really? Waydown's only good if you're having a lot of your creatures go to the graveyard quickly, which we're definitely not. With double Eyespine Pillar and Narfi, we're definitely a slow control kind of snow deck. Snow-covered mountain's going to be off-color most likely, but it is still a snowland, and Kennel Masters go pretty late if we want Kennel Masters, and they're not the great top end in a snow deck. They're a good top end in an aggressive deck where you have a ton of creatures that aren't going to be attacking in well later. This is just not going to be that kind of deck. Just not a lot of creatures, not a lot of early creatures, most likely. I'll take a Frostpeak Yeti here. I mean, it's pretty filler, but it's fine. It could be unblockable. Nothing else here is exciting. Yeah, Mists of Yara. Blue is definitely looking to be the core of our deck. Not a great removal spell, but it can slow down very aggressive players. And we are going to get these Kennel Masters nice and late to just have the filler creatures. A Jarl this late is actually really nice. I'm happy to see that. It's also a zombie to work with Narfi, so back to just the Dimir Snow core is looking pretty good. All of those, oh my god, all of those green snow cards didn't end up wheeling after Glittering Frost. We got to pick up 1 Glittering Frost, but we saw plenty more Glittering Frost and Sculptor of Winter type cards, and those all got scooped up. So somebody's trying to do some kind of green snow sort of deck, so I'm actually really looking forward to trying to be just Dimir Snow here with Narfi and maybe some zombie synergies with cards like Jarl of the Forsaken and Karfell Kennelmaster. This could be like blue-black snow zombies. Yeah, it does hurt having to pass another Narfi here because it is exactly what we're trying to do, but Blood on the Snow is an incredibly powerful card. It wipes the board and returns one of your cards from their grave back to the battlefield. Definitely a really solid card in a slower controlling deck, and that's what we're leaning towards. Again, double pillar, Narfi. Lots of controlling stuff here. We're going to scoop up Blood on the Snow. Would love to wheel Narfi or Draugr's Helm or Mistwalker. None of those are super likely to wheel, but maybe one of them will because all 3 of them are there. And now, again, I'm not leaning too heavily towards green because a lot of those green snow cards were getting scooped up by the end there, so maybe we want a Sulphurous Mire, maybe try to be like Grixis Snow. This is also just a snow source, and it's a black source. We saw a Jarl of the Forsaken with like 3 cards left in the pack, so it shouldn't be too hard to wheel this. Maybe the other black players are more aggressive and they'll take cards like Infernal Pet here. The pack is pretty light in terms of like great playables, so it's not super likely to wheel. We can also try Vega out, but we don't have any cards with, well, we've got 1 card with Foretell, 1 Jarl of the Forsaken. Don't have a lot to combo with this. I do have 2 Glacial Floodplain though for trying to do Vega here. Also just doesn't seem that good. I think I'm going to take the Sulphurous Mire and hope to wheel the Jarl. Stick to like blue-black snow. There's a Glittering Frost and a Horizon Seeker, but nothing insane. Sorry about that. Frostpire Arcanist could be okay if we get enough instants and sorceries and duplicates, but it's not likely to happen. We don't have like any right now. I think we take one of the green fixers or maybe the bound and gold. Taking the bound and gold would make me really wish that I took Vega last pick. Could also take the sinkhole, another tapped black snow source, and it would help us splash into Vega if like Vega wheels. Bound and gold's probably not going to wheel, but we do already have double Icebine Pillar, blood on the snow. I'm going to actually just take Snowlands really highly to where we could just take like the best card in every pack in pack 3 here when we get there. We do have Snow-Covered Swamp or Behold the Multiverse. I am actually going to take Behold the Multiverse at this point. We've got a lot of Snowlands here, and Behold the Multiverse is very good, and we're 100% playing blue. So we're going to scoop that up. Don't think that the Snow Swamp will wheel, but maybe it will. And if it doesn't, there isn't really anything for us outside of the Snow Swamp. Maybe like a Valkyrie if we end up playing Esper, picking up Vega. Another Sulphurous Mire, a Run Ashore, a Carfell Harbinger. In black, we have a 2-mana 2/2 that doesn't combo well in our deck. Combos well with equipment and +1/+1 counters and stuff, just not stuff that we have. And Infernal Pet, double spelling, does not combo with what we have going either. So we just take like the 2-mana 1/3, get an early game blocker, as well as it's a zombie to get bigger with Narfi later. Turning that into a 2/4 blocker seems okay. It's that or the Mire. Yeah, I mean, I've been taking Mires over better cards, so I should probably take the Mire there. Definitely taking a Jarl here. Jarl is kind of awkward in this deck because we don't have a lot of creatures to get the super value out of it, but it's still a 3/2 flash for 4, or we can foretell it and play it early. So we can still just like use it as a flash blocker. I actually do like Sculptor of Winter here too, though. Kind of exciting that that's still in here. I'll take a Jarl, though. It's a zombie to go with Narfi. It foretells and casts for cheap as a surprise blocker. Could splash in a Judge of Valor here, but we're not super likely to double spell, so it doesn't seem great, but our on-color cards are not great either. Well, now I'm seeing decent green stuff. I think we take the 3-mana zombie here, another filler creature to be able to block things in the early game, and it is a zombie. For the Narfi, which we did wheel. Alright, we're blue-black zombies, although Priest of the Haunted Edge would be sick in here too. I don't think we can take it over Narfi. Narfi's just so good. And we have a lot of zombies now. I do hate to see Priest of the Haunted Edge go with how aggressively I've taken Snowlands. I've got 9 Snowlands here. God, Priest. I'm so sorry. But Narfi it is. Another zombie, Draugr Recruiter, or we take Starnheim Courser as another white card, but we're really just trying to splash that. This card's just not very good, but if we get this in the very late game, like after a Blood on the Snow, that'll be insane. Not super likely to happen. This card has never really been good for me, but we'll see. Dread Rider is a nice, like, really late game card to close out the game, a big blocker, and start dealing 3 to your opponent a couple times. But I am really hurting for early drops to slow down aggressive decks, so I'll take a Mists. I don't want to just get absolutely slapped by Boros aggro. So we can run mediocre cards like Mists just to stop those decks for a couple turns. Play Giant Ox, that's the most likely card we're playing, but we're probably not playing it. We did wheel Harbinger, which is good. I was looking for that for more early blockers. And now we're just taking actual garbage. Duskwheel, there is a black card, but it is also garbage. Alright, this might be the only time Tergrid's Shadow is actually good in my deck. I've drafted this card a lot of times, and it has always been horrible for me because I draft aggro so often, and this is not really going aggro. But in a controlled deck with not a lot of creatures, you can often end up in a position against an aggro deck where you get to cast this when your opponent has 2 creatures on board and you have nothing. I think Tergrid's Shadow is really good in this deck, but there's also Bergstrider. And Bergstrider's just not going to wheel, most likely, and it's a good card. Shadow might wheel. I actually think it's more likely for Shadow to wheel than Bergstrider just because it's less of a mana commitment. It only costs 1 blue, and Bergstrider's also just a really popular card. Any black aggressive deck should probably not be playing Tergrid's Shadow in my experience. I'm going to take Bergstrider here. 3rd Narfi? I don't think we want 3 Narfis that much. Like, it can definitely get really awkward having multiple legendaries in the same deck. That actually makes me really wish that I took Priest last pack, because then we could have double Narfi and a Priest of the Haunted Edge. That would have been absolutely beautiful here. That being said, even though we didn't do that, I guess we could take Frostbite. That is 3 damage removal in our deck. Or we could take Crush the Weak, because we have the mana fixing. Come to think of it, I think I'm taking one of the red cards here. I was going to say Narfi's the best thing in blue or black for us, but I keep forgetting I have 4 red sources. I can splash in a Crush the Weak or a Frostbite. I think I want Crush the Weak, actually. Try to do a little early game Wrath, and Narfi might even wheel. We've seen a Narfi wheel before. Now what? A Wither Crown for early game removal. This is actually good removal in a control deck because you don't care if they keep the creature on the board. So you're just like, bam, 0 power. That's all you really care about. Making it a 0 power creature seems good. There's also Augury Raven though, which is just a good flying creature, and I don't have a lot of creatures right now. So Augury Raven is definitely a pretty solid choice. It's Augury Raven or Wither Crown here. Actually do have 12 creatures right now. I have kind of a lot, but a lot of them are really mediocre, like Duskwielder we really don't want to play. Yeah, I guess I'll take Augury Raven, cut this Duskwielder for sure. Could play Vega, could play a second Crush the Weak. How much Foretell do I have going now? Not a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Foretell cards to potentially draw off of Vega. How many white sources? 1, 2, 3. Kind of just want another Crush the Weak. The mana is definitely going to be easier if we're just like Grixis, and Crush the Weak is going to be good against aggro. Then we're just like mono Wraths, double Crush the Weak, and a Blood on the Snow. Really try to shut down aggressive decks in that way. I'm going to try out Crush the Weak. Maybe it's Demon Bolt there, actually, even. It's definitely Poison the Cup here, my god. That will go wonderfully in our deck. Destroy a creature and scry 2. And it has Foretell if we somehow wheel the Vega. The fact that we didn't wheel the last one makes it very unlikely we see that Vega again, but you never know. Elderfang Disciple would be okay here, make our opponent discard a card and actually have a blocker, even if it's mostly a chump blocker. And Grim Draugr would be fine, being a snow creature, a zombie creature for Narfi. Definitely Poison the Cup right now, though. Hailstorm Valkyrie could actually attack in this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, 9 snow sources. So more than half our lands are snow lands, so we're very often going to have at least the 2 for this by turn 4. Yeah, I like the Hailstorm Valkyrie here. I also do like Snow-Covered Swamp. I'm actually going to scoop up Hailstorm Valkyrie, get another win condition in this deck. And I'll take another Draugr Thought Thief here. Maybe a Disdainful Stroke. Card is solid. I'll take a Thought Thief. Dogged Pursuit, Mists of Lityara, Frostpire Arcanist. I do have double Crush the Weak now for Frostpire Arcanist. It's also a 5-mana 2/5 here. We don't have any Changelings or Giants, except for a 5-mana Giant, in which case we already have 5 mana to cast Arcanist. Probably not running Triple Mists, but you never know. I don't think I'm running Frostpire Arcanist. Well, we get a Frostbite here with enough Snowlands that this will often do 3 damage in the late game. So that's actually playable. Actually main deckable here. 33 minus 9 is 24 cards, so this is our deck here. We don't get to cut too many cards here because we drafted so many lands. Did wheel Narfi. That's hilarious. I really should have taken that Priest last pack. That is very unfortunate. I just go for the triple Narfi deck? We probably just take Harbinger, right? The greed. The greed is unstoppable. We're gonna go triple Narfi. Pet is terrible here. Coma's Faithful is not good here either, but it does mill Narfi, maybe. Yeah, you know, it could mill Narfi. I'm not very excited about the Frostpeak Yetis, but they would be good in like a mirror match against another slow deck. I'll play Grim Draugr here. Well, we are just scooping up creatures we could actually play if we want to. Yeah, again, more cards we could play if we want to. So how many cards is this? I have to cut 8 cards? I actually have to cut 8 cards still? What? Alright, I'm probably cutting Drudge of Valor. It's just not the greatest splash in the world. We're not super likely to be able to double spell often, although we have a bunch of Foretell to help trigger that. I don't think we're playing Judge of Valor. I think we actually do have enough powerful stuff at just like Grixis at this point that we don't need to be splashing really. Cut 7 more cards. Dreadrider seems probably not great here. Can win a long game by just like constantly returning Narfi and then start hitting him for 4 with it. Kennelmaster's super awkward in this build. I think we're cutting that down to 5 more cuts to go. Death Knell Berserker's not great here, and we have triple mists for basically what our 2-drops would accomplish, which is trading off with their 2/2s and 3/2s. So I'll cut Death Knell Berserker for that reason. Kind of want to cut more of our creatures because we have double Crush the Weak and Blood on the Snow. That makes me want to cut more just like 2 toughness creatures. Try to really lean into the amount of removal and board wipes that we have. And really make sure that our board wipes are like one-sided. We also have Icebind Pillars to just slow our opponents down until we draw into Blood on the Snow or Crush the Weak type cards. It does make me want to cut down on my number of creatures. But then I have to choose between like Draugr Thought Thief and Koma's Faithful. For the cuts, I could even just cut all 3, and then we only need to cut 1 more card, but then do not have a lot of creatures in the early game whatsoever. Kind of do want to cut Draugr Recruiter, because I already have Narfi just coming back from the grave a lot. Card does seem very slow. Hailstorm Valkyrie seems real good. The Jarls seem okay here. We wouldn't want to cut a ton of creatures for the Jarls to still be super playable, though. I think we could go down to like 12 creatures and the Jarls are still fine. So just cut like 1 Thought Thief, 1 other card, maybe a Frostpeak Yeti. I honestly think this card's only good against another slow deck, but it is solid there. I'm going to cut that here. Cut 1 more card. Cut 1 of the Narfies. We probably are supposed to cut 1 of the Narfies, but I think that it's hilarious that we have 3. Honestly. Maybe we cut 1 of the Mists. We've got double Crush the Weak, Wither Crown, Frostbite, Poison the Cup, double Icebind Pillar. Yeah, we have a lot to play around with our opponent's early attackers. I'll cut a Mists here and try this out. We got to figure this mana base out, though. 12 blue, 11 black, 3 red. 12 blue, 11 black, 3 red. Blue-black are pretty similar. We've got a double black on Blood on the Snow and no double blues. So I like a very even split on blue and black here. And then a little bit of red. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 red sources right now. 5 with this mountain. Seems alright. How many blue sources? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how many black sources? 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 1 more black source than blue source right now. That seems wrong. Probably cut a Swamp Throw in an island. I guess we do have the double black on Blood on the Snow. No double blues. That could actually be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red sources. Maybe we even cut a red source. We could cut down to 4 red sources and then... Because like Frostbite and Crush the Weak, these are all cards we can play later than like turn 1, turn 3. We can wait on our red mana. But we can't wait that long for something like Crush the Weak to be really good. Because we need to do that, obviously, before the aggro decks kill us or before we trade off with a lot of our creatures. We need to be able to Crush the Weak before we have to commit creatures to the board to be able to block their stuff. So Crush the Weak, ideally, we are still playing relatively early. I think I'm going to stick with it as Arena suggested here for that reason. We'll stick to the 5 red, 7 blue, 8 black. Yeah, let's go with this. And here is our Grixis Snow deck. Mainly Dimir, splashing some red for some burn spells, some removal, to crush the weak, to bite the frost. All of that good stuff. My apologies if my chair is squeaky. This is my very old and more comfy chair. I usually do try to swap out to my newer like racer chair because it's more silent when I'm recording, but I am doing a pretty big batch recording session today, so I'm trying to just focus on comfort here so I can get like a week's worth of videos recorded on my day off. Not a week's worth, but quite a few of them. Well, let's see. See what we got here, round one. This is awkward, but we have the Behold the Multiverse. The Behold the Multiverse does really set us up, and if our opponent's an aggro deck, the Crush the Weak is going to be fantastic. We've also got a Mists. I think we're fine here. Like, if we stumble on mana against another slow deck, we've got time, and against an aggressive deck, we have the cards to take things back afterwards. Ooh, and we did draw into a Narfi here. Three mana does give us access to Draugr Thought Thief or Crush the Weak. There's nothing to crush here. We could Grim Draugr as well. Do I want to just get aggressive? If I just top deck a bunch of untapped lands, I could go for a go for a turn 4 Narfi here. Yeah, I'm actually going to play Draugr Thought Thief here, try to hit a land on top. If I hit a second Narfi, that'll be beautiful. Poison the Cup. Oh, no. Don't put like a really good card on top of my deck, then I have to make some real choices here. I guess I throw that in library, and next turn we can Behold the Multiverse to hit another land, and then like foretell that. I feel like we have to keep that. That card is just very good. But now we know we're not naturally drawing a land next turn. We'll need one in the next top 4 cards with Behold. Grim Draugr of their own. I think we want to send in against that. We're not going to want to try to double block. If we try to double block, we're going to have 4 toughness, and they can pump once, and then they have 4 power, so that seems like a bad time. I think we attack in, then we Behold, and try to foretell Poison the Cup. Definitely don't want to put another creature on this board, because we could still try to get them in a position where they cast more cards like Grim Draugr, and then we still Crush the Weak and just kill one of our cards for like 3 of theirs. Behold here. Doesn't really matter. I think I do like leaving the red up in case I draw like Frostbite. Alright, well we just draw 2 lands. I do like that. Then do I just play a tapped land here so I can Narfi next turn? Probably. That seems like a solid draw. Also gives us the second black so I don't have to foretell Poison the Cup to cast it, although I still would like to be able to scry when I do so. Because now that we've got 5 lands, we want to scry away any future lands. Our opponent foretelling a card as well. And just passing turn. Are we just trading here? Or are they going to cast a Jarl and we trade with Jarl? Could make our Draugr a 4-3 with Narfi. Narfi's not going to die to a Crush the Weak, so I do like playing out Narfi before I go to combat here, because it'll do 1 more damage. If they don't block, and if they do block, we just trade, that's fine. Their creature is marginally better at face value. Now that our creature's a 4-3 instead of a 3-2, our creature's probably a little bit better, but I still want to get aggressive. Demonic Gifts. Okay, to bring back that Grim Draugr. Sure. So we traded our Draugr Thought Thief for a Demonic Gifts. Seems fine. Grim Draugr coming on in. I do need 1 more snow mana to be able to bring back Narfi, but if we go for the long game here, we do get some value by just trading here. I feel like I have the long game, but I think that my opponent attacking this way makes my opponent feel like they do as well, or means that my opponent also feels like they have the long game. And I don't know what their cards in hand are. They have 5 cards in hand. I feel like I probably do not block here. Because I can also set up for a Crush of the Week if they try to get aggressive and play more creatures, because Narfi doesn't die to that, so I think we just take it. I guess the other argument for trading with Narfi is that I have 3 Narfis in this deck, so if I draw a second Narfi, the second Narfi looks a lot better when I've traded with my first Narfi. And it's not on the board anymore. Grim Draugr, come on, another creature, another creature, another creature. Aww. That'd been so good. Crush the Week was looking so fancy there. We do have 5 mana here. We hit another Snow Source, so we know we can bring Narfi back. Do I just Crush the Week here? I feel like this Foretold card could very easily be a Jarl, in which case Crush the Week is very bad for me, because they can use their Jarl to kill my Narfi after it's been hit by Crush the Week, and then it gets exiled. Because Crush the Week, if it dies this turn, it gets exiled, so I really don't want to Crush the Week just for the potential of them having a Jarl. So maybe I play an Icespine Pillar and just pass. Play the long game here. Yeah, that's actually a really good choice by the auto tapper this time. Because now I'm holding up a Snow Mana, and I'm holding up Mist Sivlet Yara. Look at the auto tapper doing work here. Could also foretell the Poison the Cup. But then I'm not holding up the ability to use Pillar or Mists, so I don't think I'm doing that. Could attack in here and Mists in response to a block. Their card was Behold the Multiverse, so I was playing against nothing, but definitely didn't want that to be Jarl. If it was Jarl, we were so hosed there. Just mega value from our opponent. I think we actually let them go to combat here, because if they don't give a Draugr Menace, we can just block it. And if they do try to give a Draugr Menace pre-combat, we can respond with that. Because the problem is when they go to combat, if I try to tap down one of the Draugrs with Icespine Pillar, they'll give the other one Menace, and then I just can't block here. Yeah, so like I target this with Pillar, and they're just like, okay, this one gets Menace and smacks you for 4. You just have a bad time. So I think Crush the Week makes me really not want to do any trades with Narfi, but at the same time, we also have the 3 Snow Mana to just bring Narfi back. Does come back tapped, though. But I think I'm just no longer on this Crush the Week plan. Like, now I might even Mists the other Draugr. Just deal with both of them. Or do I Mists the one that's on Narfi so they can't kill Narfi here? Yeah, I'll miss the one on Narfi. Obviously, the Crush the Week the last turn's looking a lot better because of the fact that they had Foretold Behold the Multiverse instead of Jarl. Crush last turn would have been so good. Icespine Pillar. Alright. Time for us to stare at each other for a long time. They've foretold a card. They have 31 cards left in their deck? What the heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? They played 14 cards. They're running a 45 card deck. They're going to win the mill game. Oh my god, the actual tech from our opponent to win the mill game. We did draw another Narfi, so the trade would have been good. Awkward. Let's foretell poison the cup. I don't need to hold up blue here. The only thing I would cast is Narfi, so we'll foretell a poison the cup. So I can poison the cup and use Eye Spine Pillar. Just attack with Narfi here. We're actually probably playing a Draugr. Oh yeah, they have their own pillar. Probably play a Draugr and just tap down their Draugr. Our Draugr is going to have 3 toughness, so it'll survive a Crush the Weak as well, as long as we have a Narfi on our board. So we start hitting them for 4 a turn, even through their Eye Spine Pillar. I have no idea what's in their hand or what they have foretold. They still have a lot to play around with here. Raven form. Sure, I do have a backup Narfi, so that works out for me. Does make my creatures too small to survive a Crush the Weak, though. But I don't foresee them playing a ton more creatures at this point. I do have enough mana to cast an Narfi and still hold up Eye Spine Pillar, which will be great. Especially if they just, like, foretell another card. Pilfering Hawk. Okay, so another creature here. Now I have enough to cast Narfi and hold up Poison the Cup or Eye Spine Pillar, which I very much enjoy. I'm going to do it pre-combat, so I get in for 1 more damage with Draugr if they don't tap it down. But they probably tap it down, so I don't think it really matters. I could poison their flyer, but then I'm not holding up the pillar. We can set up for a pretty decent Crush the Weak here as well, to just kill those 2 at the price of my bird. So I don't really know what I'm doing with this kind of big, splashy, slow snow deck. But I don't really mind. I think it's pretty fun. It was a cool draft all around as well. It's kind of weird. The Arena Opens got me in a really weird mindset. I'm recording all of this after day 2 of the Arena Open, where I just absolutely just got destroyed. And I felt really bad about that for like a few hours. But then I was like, you know what? The really stressful tourney is all over. Let's just record some drafts, have the videos ready for this week, and just have fun with it. Like, screw it. We just played in a gigantic, super high-stakes event. We made it into day 2, which is super impressive. I'm proud of that, at the very least. And yeah, that's all over with. The super stressful stuff is done. We've done plenty of Premier drafts before. Like, whatever, just have a good time with it. I think, honestly, it was a good experience overall, because now I'm less worried and scared about, like, drafting strategies that I'm not the greatest at. Ooh, opponent might actually mill out before us with a Throne of Death. But yeah, it's got me making all kinds of bold bold drafting decisions and plays and stuff. And so I'm drafting the kind of deck I would basically never have ended up with if it weren't for that. Like, if it weren't for that, I might have just went with the 2-mana 2/1 Berserker, pick 1 and then got another one, pick 2. Really started going off there for red. Red did seem really open. I mean, the Crush the Weeks and stuff that we got to scoop up there are decently open. So we would have ended up with a good deck, but it just wouldn't have been that interesting. To shut off all their blocks here seems good. I don't think we're going to Crush the Weak here. I just have to tap down like Draugr every turn. I take 1 a turn, so just attack in for like a lot. 1, 2, 3. I want to hold up 1 snow for Pillar and also hold up enough for Poison the Cup. But I can pump Draugr a little bit. They do have a Jarl, but they like just drew it now. Let's give Menace here, because Crush the Weak is not an instant. Although I could Pillar the Jarl. Could have Pillared the Jarl and then Crush, but this also gets in more damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I'm definitely Crushing the Weak here. All their creatures are going to be gone, so I don't need to hold up snow for pillar, so I think I am going to pump one more time. I do need to hold a red mana up here, though. Just get one more damage in. Of course, now I'm not holding up Poison the Cup or anything, but I doubt they have a haste creature here in red-black. Pretty solid Crush the Weak. Did end up paying off even at the end there. Opponent has like a really good card draw engine with this Throne of Death. They get to draw an extra card every turn. I guess they only have 2 creatures in grave right now, but they've got a pillar set up to tap down one of our creatures every turn, tap down Grimdraugr. We've got to Poison the Cup for their first blocker. I think we're in a good position still, but our opponent is not out of it yet. They have some powerful artifacts at their disposal. Oh, I should also say about the Arena Open thing, thank you all so much for all the supportive comments. After day 1, all of the congratulations and stuff, that was super awesome. But then after day 2, all of the validation and stuff was like, you tried hard, your deck was fine, stuff like that. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciated all of the comments there. I do agree. I was reading some of the comments. Of course, this is I am recording this only a couple hours after that video went live, so I haven't seen all of the comments that are probably up there by now. But one of the suggestions that I did see a decent bit in the comments already that I would agree with is I think the Selesnya deck splashing black there would have been maybe the best deck we would have had. It would have been more mid-rangey, but still aggressive enough to maybe outpace some of those snow decks, while giving us like double Maja, so a little more bomby. Like our red-white deck was the fastest deck we could have built, but playing green-white wouldn't have slowed us down that much more, and it gives us, you know, double bomb. Not the craziest bombs in the set, but still, you know, bombs nonetheless. Sure. Do I want to poison that or pillar it? If I pillar it now, I don't get to pillar it on their next turn. I'm not really worried about the crackback, so I think I just pillar it, hold up cup. But yeah, I think even if the Selesnya deck was like a bit better, marginally better, the decks we ran up against and the just quality of play from our opponents was very good. We had some really, really good opponents. First opponent had an incredible pool as well. I don't think there was no way we were going to beat our first opponent, but second opponent was also just a very good player. So I think we were unlikely to win that round, even with like the best build. Which does happen. Definitely a part of Magic. Of course, if anybody just enjoys the drafts and is only watching the drafts or has stumbled upon this video, you all have no idea what I'm talking about. I did do the major sealed Arena Open event, really high stakes event, if you want to see that. I guess I kind of spoiled how day 2 went and day 1, but I would definitely check out day 1 at least if you want to see me get really excited about winning some games of Magic. Day 2 was still like good food for thought kind of stuff. It was some fun games. Yeah, I mean, I just take it and go for it, right? Another land is whatever. They have another instant speed blocker here. I'm gonna lose my mind. Not really, but I might poison the cup at this point so that I can kill their blocker and still protect myself. Although I could just pillar first and poison the cup on attacks. If there is no flash blocker, no removal, I'm very happy here. Because they've got one creature out, we just pillar it on attacks every turn. It doesn't get to hit us or block. We might be getting there here. Ooh, raise the Draugr. Does that actually get 2 things back? They've been exiling things with Throne of Death, so a bit of a nombo there. So it looks like it's only getting 1 card. All right. It's pretty solid for us. They need 2 more creatures to survive. They have 1 more right now, but we get to tap down Jarl and then kill their next blocker. So they need to play 2 creatures here. They need to play their Grimjogger and something else, or play that creature and a removal spell. That works as well. But we only need to get in with 1 creature, which means we need their board clear. I'm actually really happy about them choosing to attack with Jarl. I wasn't really thinking about it, but if I had given it more thought, I definitely would not Icespine Pillar on them moving to combat, because then if they play 2 creatures afterward, they're dead. So I'm happy with the choice to not Icespine Pillar during combat, but that was also just me not thinking it through. I think it was the best choice overall. Crush the Weak. Good God. Crush the Weak on their single Jarl. If they have another Jarl in hand, this Crush the Week's going to go really poorly for me. There's no reason to do it right now. They're done on board. Just go to combat and see if we can get in. We have a Poison the Cup if they have a flash blocker. They have to have an instant speed removal spell to go with the Icespine Pillar tapping here, because an instant speed blocker will not do the trick. They do have an instant speed removal spell, so they get to feed the Serpent on our Grimjogger, and then they get to tap down Narfi. All right, I'm just trying to think if there's anything I can do about that. Not really. So now Pillar keeps tapping down our 1 attacker. It doesn't matter. Even if they have 0 creatures on the field, we don't get there. They have tapped out of Jarl mana, which makes me think I actually Crush the Weak now. I guess I can hold off on it, just Pillar the Jarl. They play the Grimjogger next turn, and then we Crush the Weak. Seems fine. Yeah, I probably... Oops. Definitely don't do that right now. I probably hold off on the Crush. If something crazy happens and they try to do some kind of haste shenanigans, I have the Poison the Cup back up. And if nothing crazy happens and they just tap out for Grimjogger, well, not tap out, but if they just drop it on the board, then Crush the Weak is the definite plan. Elderfang Disciple. We're definitely discarding an Arfi. We can bring it back from the grave, and we already have 1 on board. Disciple is not bad for us at all here. We have a very easy discard for multiple reasons. If they have a second Disciple, though, I will be sad. If you press X, 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 Y, 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 X, 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 Y, 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 you will be sucked. Sorry. Just a really obscure reference that probably nobody will get. That was Konami E3 2009. They had a really weird conference. That was also just great. It's very enjoyable to watch. The main presenter was like really charismatic, so he's like just really fun to watch, and none of the journalists cared. So it was pretty funny. Yeah, just Crush the Weak here. I mean, go to combat first to tap them out of 1 of their mana, so they're less likely to have any form of response, but for 2 mana, they're just not going to have a response. For 1 blue, they definitely won't. Alright, weaklings, get out of here. Aha, that's right. Now my opponent knows I have 2 Crush the Weak and 3 Narfi. Opponent's gotta kinda hate that. Oh no, they milled an Alrund's Epiphany? Our opponent's deck's sick too? Look at this stuff. They got fun cards too. Alright. I mean, Icespine Pillar is going to slow this all down. The Throne of Death has milled them enough now where they're going to mill out first. That could actually be like a viable strategy for why they're playing so many just like extra cards in their deck, is because they know they have Throne of Death and they plan to use it a lot. So they don't want to just mill out in the mirror match. That being said, it looks like they might be milling out in the mirror match here. We'll see. I could keep swapping my Narfies around if I want to be cute, but it doesn't do anything. Undersea Invader. Oh. That is large. I'm going to pillar the heck out of that. If I miss my pillar, I'm going to have to poison the cup it. So let's pay attention and not miss the entering combat phase here. I might poison the cup it anyway. Just to scry. I feel like I shouldn't, though, because they might end up with a creature that just has a good ability, too, even if it's not attacking. Or like a flying creature. Oh my god, double pillar. The double pillar mirror match. This one game is going to take as long as my entire last draft. That's like actually just happening right now. They have 15 cards left. I have 18. They're milling one a turn. So we're probably on the mill plan. How many lands do I have left? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 6 left in 18 cards. I probably don't need to scry that badly. Maybe I do. I mean, we're fine right now still. But we do need to actually like draw viable cards, because our opponent's drawing 2 a turn, essentially, with Throne of Death being able to exile creatures from the grave and draw. I guess they haven't hit a creature to go in their grave in a while. That would be another reason not to poison the cup. If I poison Invader, they get to draw another card right there. We are trying to get them to draw faster than us and mill out, but we're not trying to get them to draw fast enough to where they can outrace our stuff. Oh, they can Icebind Pillar to tap artifacts, so they can pillar our pillar? Well, now I just have to poison the cup while they're tapped out, actually. Wither Crown, all right. I mean, they're at 2 life, so they have to just sack immediately when I Wither Crown something, so that's just flat removal, and we get to scry out of a land. Seems solid. Tap your Throne of Death. What do you say to that, opponent? I still have more than enough to return Narfi. They did mill a creature, and I just killed a creature, so they've got 2 card draws out of Throne of Death available. Only 1 per turn, because you have to tap to do it. Coma's Faithful. When it dies, each player mills 3? Alright. Wither Crown looking real sweet here. Wither Crown on Coma's Faithful. It's going to die and mill them 3. No, don't have drawn 2 creatures somehow. They didn't even draw a second card this turn. They didn't Throne of Death yet. Oh, they're using Throne of Death right now. I am a fool. That's what this 3 mana's for. We need them to just never draw 2 creatures in 1 turn. Although we're at 7 still, so we have a bit of time. The double Icebind Pillar is very rough. They have 12 cards left. Wither Crown on Coma's Faithful means they'll have to sacrifice it. Be down to 9 cards. Fingers crossed. This is a clencher right here. I don't really know where the line is for PG versus PG-13. Try to keep things like PG-13 at worst here. But you know what we're clenching. Yep. And the other Icebind Pillar on my Icebind Pillar. Or not? Oh yeah, here it comes. Alright, I thought maybe they would miss it. Sad. They could go to 1 here to prevent the mill. What do I have left in my deck at this point, honestly? Blood on the Snow? Blood on the Snow. So overkill at this point. We have a Wrath, though. Bergstrider would be pretty solid. Hailstorm Valkyrie, the old flying threat. A couple Jarls. They're at 2 life, so literally any creature's fine. Augury, Raven, Coma's Faithful, all that stuff. Our second Icebind Pillar does make it so I don't even know. The Icespine Pillars just start tapping each other really annoyingly. Mists of Yara, Carfell Harbinger, and Frostbite. So we don't really have anything crazy left. Except Blood on the Snow. Blood on the Snow would kill all the creatures and bring something back, so I'd bring back like my 3-2 and mill them a card when this comes into play. Yeah, Blood on the Snow is our best card. Oh, they have a Demonic Gifts to throw on the Coma's Faithful to bring it back in response to my removal. That is definitely solid for them. It does still mill them 3. Mills me 3 as well, though. But, yeah, having basically the counterspell for the removal is very bad for me. Now we are all in. Let's draw our Blood on the Snow. But not right now. Don't mill the Blood on the Snow. That would not be a good time. What is this? What on earth is this? Are you responding with Throne of Death before you mill? Because you know what's on top or something? I don't think they've scryed in a while. Yeah, no, they're just waiting. We didn't mill Blood on the Snow, but we milled 2 good playables. Coma's Faithful is actually really good at this point, too, to help mill them faster. So that was a really good draw we milled. Bergstrider was a really good draw we milled, and the land was just... at least we got a land out of there. That's something. 4 lands left in the deck. Raider's Carve. Uh-oh, they can crew that for only 3, and then it's a 4-power attacker. The ability doesn't matter. They're not going to mill themselves more with that. They're going to just choose not to put the land in play. But, yeah, now their 3-power creatures get to attack as a 4/4. And that actually shuts off my Icespine Pillar, if it would matter. They already have 2 Icespine Pillars, so it doesn't. But, yeah, creatures are actually bad draws because of the double pillar. So we just have to get, like, Blood on the Snow. And if they draw any 3-power or more creature, they can even just crew Carve immediately, which is basically a haste creature. Blood on the Snow. Fingers crossed, let's go. Wasn't supposed to rhyme, but I suppose it did. So I can throw Mists of Yara on Coma's Faithful, then it's a 0/1, so it's not big enough to crew the Carve anymore, so I basically just shut it off. And I think we have to do that, and we have to do it before their turn. If I wait till their turn to do it, they can crew in response and still hit me for 4 that turn. Yeah, and we would much rather make the Faithful a 0/1 than make the Carve a 1/4, because if we make the Carve a 1/4, they'll just stop crewing it and start attacking me for 3 with Faithful instead. So this essentially is just like, I've Doombladed the Faithful. Not quite as good, because if we Doomblade the Faithful, then obviously we would be milling them 3 more cards. They're down to 7 cards now. Tap down Narfi. I don't know why they would even crew Carve if they were going to tap Narfi anyway. Just for fun. It was the last opportunity to do so. Pass turn. Tap down my Pillar. Now if they play a 3-power creature, they get to hit me for 4 here, so we're really all in on them not doing that, because it's still going to take a few turns to get them. They're down to 5 cards. Next turn they're down to 3. Turn after that they're down to 1, and then they die. So we need to live 3 more turns. We need to live, then they go to 3. We need to live, then they go to 1. And then we need to live, then they die. So we need to live 3 more turns. The 3-power creature is really bad for us. Now they Carve hit us for 4. So we are just dead if we don't hit Blood on the Snow like right now. If we do hit Blood on the Snow right now, we need to hit it. And we need them to not... actually, no, literally it would win. It would win immediately, because if we Blood on the Snow, Coma's Faithful dies, each player mills 3, so they're down to 2 cards left, and then I bring back my 3/2 that can mill somebody 1 card, and I mill them 1 card, then they have 1 card left in their library. At their upkeep, they mill a card, and then their draw step, they have 0 cards left. Right? No, they would go to exactly 0 cards left, so it wouldn't quite get there. We would mill 3, we'd mill a 4th, they'd have 1 card left, they would draw the last cards. They wouldn't die immediately to Blood on the Snow, but we could get them real close. So even Blood on the Snow, we'd be dead to them drawing another creature. Or having another creature in hand, because then they can just crew Carve and haste it out on us. If we get another instant speed removal spell, we might be okay, but I don't think I have any more. I don't. I have a Frostbite, which would do 3 damage, not enough to kill Carve. Priest of the Haunted Edge, okay. Final chance. Blood on the Snow. Or removal. We can shoot Recruiter here, and then they can't crew Carve. And then we win if they don't draw another creature. Or at least we survive if they don't draw another creature. Blood on the Snow. My fingers are double-crossed. Jarl. Jarl actually does survive. No, it doesn't, because they have 2 frickin' Icespine Pillars. It doesn't survive, because we flash it in, and in response to us flashing it in, they just tap it down. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, God. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. They also just kill it with Priest, because they have 2 Snowlands. It's a sorcery speed ability, though, so they couldn't do that, I guess. Pillar or other pillar, and they have 2 pillars up to deal with their Jarl. It's just not gonna work. God, I hate to lose this one. That was so close. 3 cards left. 3 cards left. I mean, it's impressive that we lasted as long as we did against an opponent basically drawing 2 a turn with Throne of Death. Quite often. Maybe I can, like, trick him. Very unlikely. If I just click fast enough. Oh, click faster! Spam the spacebar. Don't Icespine Pillar. Yeah, they're Icespine Pillaring. No. Don't do that to me. They just have to click OK and then I die. Oh wait, no, I get one last chance. Narfi, let's go! Narfi, come back! Okay. We're mega dead. Brutal. So close. Oh, I'm falling down from Diamond Tier 4. I actually do kind of want to hit Mythic this season. And there's not too many more days. There's like 5 or 6 days left at the time of recording. Because if we hit Mythic this season, we get into another sealed Mythic Invitational qualifier. So it'd be another big old stressful sealed event. I don't know why I want that, but I kind of do. We'll see if we can get there. At this rate, it's not super likely. But I'd like to. We do really need a blue source here, but we still have a 3-2 blocker and a Crush the Weak against an aggro deck. I'll keep it. Sulphurous Mire turn 1. Playing against green. I don't think Crush the Weak is good against green, unfortunately. So our double Crush the Weak are going to look pretty weak in this matchup, ironically. Crushing ourselves. Because a lot of like the smallest green creatures are cards like Serap's Packmate that are just 3/3s. Just things that survive Crush. The Troll Warriors that are 2/3s, stuff like that. Hey, Thought Thief. There we go. 2 toughness creatures. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, no. I'm just going to keep foretelling cards that I could actually play. I could foretell Behold, that way if I do draw a blue, I can just do that. Am I just going to 1-for-1 Crush the Weak here? Probably not. If that's the plan, I'm just going to Frostbite Draugr. Yeah, I think I just Frostbite Draugr on attacks next turn. Playing against green, blue, red. Here comes a Frostpeak Yeti. We've got a Jarl. I could crush an Jarl to kill any creature. If I hit a blue source, I get to miss Sivlet Jarl on the Yeti and essentially kill it. We're really needing blue, but at least our opponent's on a kind of a slow start. That being said, I think we would have preferred just like a red-white or red-black deck on a quick start, because then Crush the Weak really goes far. It's not going that far here. I could also just cast Jarl and trade with Frost Peak Yeti, but that's only if they don't tap out on attacks. Or if they do tap out pre-attacks. I think we could just take 2 for a little bit. I'm going to foretell Behold, so if I do hit my blue source, I could potentially cast Behold and still do other stuff. Because Behold is the first thing I'm going to want to do to really set up my draws, I feel. Could play Jarl here, but then they just give it unblockable in response. Would cut them off of like spending a full 5 on something here. Path to the World Tree. Alright, so they're going off with the 5-color thing here. This is just going to be too much of a stumble here on our mana issues, most likely. We've given them too much time to set up. Yeah, they're 1 color off from Path to the World Treeing on us. It's basically always lethal. I guess now at least I get to Crush the Weak, kill Recluse, and then Jarl the Yeti. But then they play a Plains, Path to the World Tree or Jarl, and we're not having a good time. At least alright, there's a blue source. At least then we clear the board as it stands right now. So we get to clear the current board, and we have a bunch of blue cards available to us now. Only 1 per turn, but still. Glittering Frost, that gives them the white mana for Path to the World Tree. Would love a Narfi here to make Jarl a 3 toughness creature, so it does not die to the 2 damage from the path. We're not really going to be able to just make a Narfi appear out of thin air, and we're not going to be able to Narfi after a Behold, because we'll only have 4 mana up, even if I draw Island Narfi. I do still think I want to Behold first. Try to draw into another blue source and some good... Another blue source and some good cards. Faithful's fine. 24 cards, 24 cards. We are going to mill out first, but I don't think this game is going to come to mill. So we'll just play the Faithful. If they want a Path to the World Tree Faithful instead of Jarl, that's fine. Nothing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is this instant speed? Good lord, this is instant speed? Gain 2, draw 2. I lose 2 life, 2 damage to a creature, get a 2/2. Yeah, LSV was not kidding when he said this is Cruel Ultimatum. So we go to combat. If we attack with both, they're going to kill both our creatures because they shoot one, make a 2/2 to trade with the other. I guess I get to Mists of Lityara to save one of our creatures, which is actually good here when we have like double Mists and a bunch of bigger stuff. Like Mists is not that crazy of a card this late in the game, and we've really got the card advantage to be able to just send this to kill a 2/2. I guess if I played Narfi, they would have had to Path immediately if they wanted to kill the Jarl, and then we just don't attack with Faithful. Still kind of like just misting here. Yeah, I probably should have just played Narfi and not even gone for an attack here, honestly. I do get to foretell a Raven here at least, because now I'm not putting any more creatures on this board. I'm not putting any more pressure on our opponents, which I'm not a fan of. Four cards in hand and a foretold card for our opponent. They have access to all 5 colors of mana, thanks to Glittering Frost. They also have, Forest, Islands, Mountains, and Swamps, so even without Glittering Frost, they've got 4 colors. See how many lands I have on the bottom? None, right? Yeah, just a Narfi on bottom. So we still got a lot of lands in our deck. We could definitely get flooded out. But any blue sources are still good. Like Island here is pretty great. Get to just like Narfi pre-combat, hold up Mists of Let Yar if they have any haste stuff. If they have like Disdainful Stroke, that's fine, because we can bring Narfi back from the grave. Or just any counterspell. Oh, this isn't a zombie. It's an elf cleric? Dang, so it doesn't actually get any more damage in. That's kind of boring. Come on, Faithful, what are you doing? Wrong tribe, why are you the green-black tribe? Be the blue-black tribe. That's what it's about. Demon Bolt. Well, can't stop that. They are actually milling out before us now. 19 cards to 17. Which is a thing. I can hold up a Mists or just cast Raven. That's gotta be just casting Raven, right? Like, what am I holding up a Mists for against a 5-color deck? They're not gonna play a Haster. Unless it's like Vorinclex. 6 mana, 6/6 trample haste. Which is just not a good time. Bunch of runes in hand, maybe. And they've gotten to the point where they want to just throw them on their lands. Battle of Frost and Fire? That's fine. That's a 1-for-1 trade. They Frost and Fire just to kill my Raven. Because I can just get Narfi back. That was one of the weakest Battle of Frost and Fires I've seen, which makes me very happy, because this card usually comes out and you just lose the game, because you get like 3 or 4 for 1. Play Thought Thief. I could even mill our opponent to speed up the clock on mill. I kind of do like that. But this is also zombie, so it's a 4-power attacker alongside Narfi. So I'm also just trying to win by regular gameplay here. Yeah, let's mill our opponent. Mill our opponent so that we're quicker on the mill clock here. They're down to 13 cards, even if they can like deal with all our stuff forever. Now they have to also present threats of their own. Of course, if we just draw land, it's going to be a little sad. See, if I looked at the top card of my library with Draugr here, and it was a Grim Draugr, I would have just kept it. So we got extra value we would not have gotten otherwise. What is going on here? Is this another Wrath effect? Like they're going to return Battle Frost and Fire to their hand, or do they just have nothing? How bad is it for me if they Wrath after I cast Grim Draugr? They get to kill a Draugr Thought Thief, a Grim Draugr, I get Narfi back again? It's not the end of the world. I'm just going to cast this out, because now I have lethal combat damage if they don't immediately Wrath, and even if they do, whatever, I can get Narfi back, and we still have a clock, if nothing else. They've got a 5/4 mob. Draw 2, discard a card, so they're milling more down to 10 cards. They're also drawing more, so they're more likely to have good cards here. Marine of the Frost to copy that. Draw 2 again, down to 8 cards. But they have a pretty impressive board. And Marit is going to be 6 toughness. Yeah, Marit being 6 toughness, so none of these get to attack in, is pretty bad for me. But Grim Draugr still gets to attack in. I can buff that up twice, make it 6 power and menace, get to kill the 7/6 if they double block. If they don't block, I do 6 to their face and they die to 1 more swing from it. I still don't think I'm attacking with everything, because if I attack with everything, they can just... Actually, what happens if I attack with everything? If I attack with everything and they go for the double block on... Well... If I missed here, it's still 4 damage. It's still 5 damage, actually, because they get a counter. Now I'm just screwed. So we're all in on the mill plan now. We gotta, like, block with Narfi and bring it back from grave every turn. It's gonna be 7 toughness. 5, 6. I can make it 6 power. I can't even make it enough power to kill here. In the trade, that's rough. I'm gonna do it anyway, as best as I can. Trade if it didn't get a +1/+1 counter. Ooh, Hailstorm Valkyrie, oh my god. We've got 3 snow right now, so we have enough to buff it once. Okay, that's not actually that good. It attacks for like 4 a turn. I think we have to leave up all of our snow mana to bring back Narfi after a chump block. So I just play Hailstorm Valkyrie here. It's actually 5 damage at its swing because it's a snow creature to go with the Narfi's plus ability. They can really only attack with the 8/7, so I block with Narfi, bring it back from my grave. Actually, just double block Narfi and Draugr, and then bring Narfi back from grave. But they've got 4 cards in hand, so they probably have more to play around with. But if they had like no cards in hand, we're in a fine position here. Just on board only. We're doing okay. Good lord, my dude. I guess I can... If I missed, then the mob is a 2/4 and it gets +1, so it's 3/4 when it fights, so I can mist and buff Valkyrie. But then I'm not bringing back Narfi from grave this turn. I think I still gotta do it, try to keep as many creatures as I can out here. Attack both, double block Narfi Draugr here. They have another 1 damage somehow? They do. Oh yeah, double mob, okay. True. Kill that, bring back Narfi from grave. And they just have a 2/4 mob sitting here. Well, an Augury Raven as well now. Stop everything on the ground, but now I'm taking 3 a turn in the sky. They've got 6 cards left in their deck. They are out racing the mill. We need something to deal with the Raven. I'm going to be really sad if we don't get to Blood on the Snow a single time today. It's an easy block. They like run amok me or something, whatever. They can kill Harbinger here. I don't have any other options. This fella seems pretty impressive. Not this late in the game though, but it is another attacker, which is good. And another Augury Raven. What is going on? I guess they did go off with a Battle of Frost and Fire and just draw 1,000,000 off of it. Five cards left, but we're dead in the air. Blood on the Snow would have been so perfect there, because then we like punish them for casting Sculptor of Winter. There was like no reason to do that. But I guess Blood on the Snow would have been like, we get a creature back anyway, so 2/2's not going to do anything. Another long game where we go down to like 10 cards left in our deck and don't draw Blood on the Snow, where we would have mega won at basically any point if we could Blood on the Snow. But especially now. That's a rough one. I don't even know if they can see when I emote, when I have emotes disabled. Probably not. No, I really don't want to go to the bottom of Diamond Tier 4. I know I said I was having fun with the no stakes limited, but I guess there's mild stakes here when I am trying to hit Mythic to get into another sealed event. These have been some good games, some very hard-fought, very long games. Even if we do 0-3 here, we got some quality games out of this draft. Oh, peanut butter. All right. Peanut butter can win. If I'm going to 0-3, let's 0-3 into peanut butter. They deserve all the wins they can get. What a fantastic username. Oh my god. Alright, this hand's pretty great. no black, but we have Behold the Multiverse to get there. Should be quite good. Should be very, very doable. Opponent is on the play. We did draw into a Narfi. Cool stuff. Opponent is on red-white, but they foretell a card on turn 2. So this could be a great matchup for Crush the Weak, but not playing a 2-drop means that's a little, who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's a slower red-white deck with just some good bomby late-game stuff. Well, a Gold Vein pick means it is almost definitely an aggressive, like, red-white equipment deck. They just drew an awkward curve. So that's good for us, because this is like the one time we don't have Crush the Weak in our opening hand. Behold the Multiverse trying to hit a black source here. A tapped black source would be pretty perfect. Could also just drop down Eye-Spine Pillar in case they play like a 3-mana haster and equip it with the pick, which is possible. I don't think it's that likely. I'll just Behold. I don't think I can afford to throw these in my hand right now. I definitely can't afford to throw Poison the Cup in my hand. As good as that card is, we have no black mana, and I already have 2 other black cards. I think we have to just dump both of these on bottom, honestly. Still no black cards, but we actually, no black sources, but we actually drew Blood on the Snow this game. So there's that. I discard Narfi here, I get to return that next turn. Don't need black mana if I just return it for triple snow. Actually a nice combo. Because we can play our Mountain and hold up a 3-damage Frostbite, as well as bring back a Narfi. Of course, our opponent does just drop down a Quakebringer. Not a good time. So we take 2 damage every turn, even if we shut that off. Frostbite's not going to be enough to kill it. I did draw my Swamp, though, so I could Frostbite and Frostbite and Jarl. I do have a Blood on the Snow coming up if I hit 1 more black, so I kind of want to set up for that. So I actually don't think that I want to kill it. I might want to just Eye-Spine Pillar it and just take 2 a turn for a little bit here. I could also bring back Narfi and hold up a Frostbite. Then Narfi can just trade with Quakebringer if I don't. Yeah. I'm taking 7 by doing this, though. So I take 2 right now, 5 when it hits me. Maybe 6 more if they throw Pick on as well. Yeah, this might have been a little bold. I could also Frostbite Jarl. I guess I can't now because Jarl's 4. Yeah, Narfi's actually not big enough to trade. This was not the right choice. Should have just Eye-Spine Pillared. But next turn I have Berg Strider to tap it down. Just not have any other creatures. It's just mono mythic rare is the play. And I definitely would not have mulliganed it if I were them. It just does not seem that likely that that is the draw they ended up with here. Alright, Stalwart Valkyrie. They do have more creatures. So I can Narfi and I can Frostbite that. Well, I am getting more out of Blood on the Snow if I don't. That being said, Blood on the Snow is still 2 turns off and I'm down to 12 already. I kind of think I have to Frostbite this just while I can to hold off the damage. Yeah, I still need another black source. Eye-Spine Pillar, we're taking 2 a turn now. But we're attacking for 4 a turn, so we are winning this race, but barely. We need to basically shut off everything else they do here. Probably should have played Berg Strider first, maybe, then we're winning the race a little better. But I'm still maybe trying to set up for Blood on the Snow. Like, if they try to go wide around this Eye-Spine Pillar, this will pay out well for us, especially if they play like Maja here. Because that is definitely a card that's going to go really wide, to where a Berg Strider was not going to help us at this point. So now we're really trying to draw another black mana to Blood on the Snow. Foretell a card. We did hit another black for the Blood on the Snow, so I can kill all their stuff. Narfi's going to die anyway. I'm not going to get anything back out of Blood on the Snow because I just won't have anything cheap enough in Grave. I'll have 3 snow mana spent on it, so I get a 3-drop or less back. We're taking 2 a turn every turn Quakebringer's out, and we're going to take damage from the other stuff. I don't think I can afford to not Blood on the Snow, but maybe depending on how they block, I can. Not likely. If they don't block here, that's great for me. I just get some extra damage in. And yeah, we just Blood on the Snow. Haste creature would be terrible for me, but pretty much anything else I have a really good plan to come back from. With a Bergstrider and Icebind Pillar on the board. Jarl and Withercrown available. Withercrown not really good against equipment, though. There's just another reason Withercrown's pretty weak in this format. I think we play a Berg here. Tap down the Scald, start hitting for 4 a turn. We have access to Mists or Icebind Pillar. I don't really think I can afford to foretell the Jarl here. I gotta kind of play it safe here. Another foretold card for our opponent. This could be like a Demon Bolt on Bergstrider at this point. If they hold off till our turn, we could respond by bringing Narfi back. But that would use up all of our snow mana. But it would probably be worth it. Iron Verdict, 5 damage, that's enough to kill it even through a Narfi. Fair enough. I think we just play this Narfi and hold up the snow mana for a Pillar. Scoop them up. All right, we got a win. Oh, it was against Peanut Butter. Oh, no. I just remembered that was Peanut Butter. I don't want to beat Peanut Butter. Now I'm actually kind of sad. I should have conceded. All right, 1 and 2. Grixis Snow. Dimir Snow splashing in. Crush the Weeks for early board wipes. Beat that Quakebringer. Played a really risky line, too, where I just let him dome me for 8 damage with Quakebringer, 2 in the upkeep and 6 when it hit me. Did pay out in the end, or pay off in the end, although the other line was probably better. I don't remember at this point what the other lines were, what all the options were, but I think it was just unnecessarily risky, not just tapping down their Quakebringer with like Strider and stuff. All right. Oh, this hand is awkward, but we have all of our main colors. We have blue and black. We just don't have the red. Double Narfi is the really awkward part. We're definitely hoping that our opponent is playing black and they're playing a bunch of Elderfang Disciples. That would be beautiful. If not, this is going to be a weird one. We're just going to trade off a Narfi and then cast another Narfi. They'll never expect that. They're always going to be like, ready for me to just return Narfis with my snow mana. But no. We're just going to cast more Narfis. Mistwalker will start things off for our opponent. Mists of Yara is pretty good against that. That means it's just never going to hit us unless they spend a ton of mana. It'll hit us for 1 damage. Although we could just play Augury Raven, it's not going to be big enough. Like, it could trade with Raven, but that's not much. Yeah, I kind of like just dropping down Augury Raven. Probably just hold it back for blocks. If they dump like all their mana into Mistwalker, we'll trade Raven into Mistwalker, which is an okay trade. Agar, the Freezing Flame. So whenever they do overkill damage with giants and spells, they draw an additional card. So this is a very good like draw engine. So we definitely don't want to just use like a Mists to kill it. We want to get that off the board. So I've got 3 mana here. I can play a 1/3 blocker. I can hold up a Mists of Lityara, or I can foretell a Jarl. I don't actually think Mists is all that great right now, because Raven's just going to trade for Mistwalker if they do a bunch of pumps. Raven's already just going to trade with Agar. I guess if they do the double attack, it would be okay, but there's no way they send an Agar unless they also have Rudamuk or something, in which case Mists is going to work really poorly for me, so I think I'm just foretelling Jarl. A 1/3 is not exciting right now either, so we're not playing Harbinger. They I was gonna say, if they squash your Demon Bolt, we're gonna have a bad time. Take 4 here and they get to draw an extra card. Wonder what they're holding Agar for. I don't know what they could think I have for 1 mana. Oh, if I foretold the 5 to a tapped creature thing. Now I can cast a Jarl and a Mists. So I could double spell on Agar, cast a Jarl to block it, and then cast Mists to make it 0 power. That might be where we're at here. But I also just have Wither Crown to do that. I could Wither Crown and still have Jarl available. But then Jarl is not blocking any of the flyers. Do I just play a 2/2 flyer of my own, like Hailstorm Valkyrie? Probably not. Could play Harbinger and Wither Crown. Yeah, that's actually probably better than Jarl and Wither Crown. Like, Agar has a good enough effect, I probably get to ping him for some damage over time here. And also just hold off their attacks. It's definitely better than Mists of Lityara. Mists of Lityara would be doing the same thing, except not damaging them. Getting hit by flyers, but not getting hit that badly. We have 5 mana now to play a Narfi. Narfi is not great here, though, because now they have a 3/5 blocker, which blocks a 4/3 well, so Narfi doesn't really do anything. Narfi does make my Jarl a 4/3 and my Harbinger a 2/4, but I think Valkyrie's better even if I don't get to hold up the mana to pump it this turn. It still holds off their Pilfering Hawk, and then in the future I'll be able to pump it, make it a 4/4. Yeah, that seems like the best attack. Bound and gold on Valkyrie. I don't know why they didn't just do that. Because then they just send him with Hawk as well. If that was the plan anyway. Mists and Jarl of the Forsaken are available to me at instant speed, or I can just cast Narfi at sorcery speed. I could just Mists on both their flyers and just kind of hang out with my opponent at this point. And I can Jarl the Kinseekers. Sure. I guess if I play my Narfi, then my Harbinger's big enough to block Kinseekers as a 2/4, so I stop that damage from coming in and just take the flying damage here. And then that sets up to where I could, like, maybe block it and Jarl and have all my creatures still be around. 2/4 doesn't really do much for me, though. They have got 1 attacking blocker, or attacking ground creature, and I'd probably like to just get rid of it, so I think we just pass. Do our instant stuff. Block Kinseekers. Mists on the Mistwalker, ironically. So we're just taking 1 a turn now from Pilfering Hawk. Scary Firewalker, sure. And now we Jarl, now that they've tapped some more of their mana. But they could still have Disdainful Stroke, they've still got 2 up. We have Jarl to trade with their Firewalker. Got Coma's Faithful as well. I've got 25, they've got 25, so they will mill out 1 turn before us. We have been on the mill plan every game that we've lost, though, so let's probably not try to do that. Probably just play a Narfi, right? And I just trade with Firewalker and bring Narfi back from grave, so they don't really have ground attacks anymore. Maybe I just attack with the Jarl now and offer the trade. Yeah, I'm only going to block one of their creatures. I could even play Coma's Faithful and Mists. Shut off like all their flyers. I got double Narfi here. I'm going to drop a Narfi. Although lifelink would be helpful, they're only doing 1 damage to me every turn now. Berg Strider, tap down Narfi. They do 4 here. So I'm at 8. I do get a lifelinker here and get to hold up Mists. I think that's my best option. Probably am attacking with both of these. No, because Coma's Faithful is just a 3-power creature, so I should hold Narfi back to block. Trade with Berg Strider. I definitely don't die on the crackback with a 3-1 lifelinker, even if they have a removal spell. They do draw a card off this trade. If I don't Mists right now. I could Mists right now just to kill Berg Strider, keep my Jarl, and stop them from drawing off of Agar. It's probably actually worth it over throwing Mists on the Hawk, because I'm about to play a lifelinker here. And there goes Agar, now that they don't have any more giants. Firewalker coming in to draw them a card with its Boast ability. I think I will block with Narfi, cast another Narfi from my hand. I do really like being able to attack them with Narfi here, but I'm at 8. I do want to stop the damage. I don't want them to be able to like boast every turn also. I don't like trading with my lifelinker. I want to be able to maybe get in with that twice. All I need is to get the Hawk out of the way right now, but they've got a ton of cards here. Run amok seems good. I don't have the mana to bring Narfi back from grave and cast Grimjogger, so I'm just going to cast the Narfi from my hand. Next turn I do have the mana to bring a Narfi back from grave and drop down a Grimjogger. They have Disdainful Stroke here, we're not having fun. Maybe I'm okay trading Faithful with Hawk. Because it's like a flying threat and I'm at 5 now. I think I actually am interested in offering that trade. I guess it would trade with Mistwalker as well if they triple pump. They don't have the mana to triple pump. Probably trading with Hawk here. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think I would rather trade the lifelinker with the the lifelinker with their flyer than trading the lifelinker with the Firewalker. And blocking the lifelinker on the Firewalker, we would have taken even more damage last turn. With blocking only a 1 toughness creature. I guess we would have gained 3, but we gained 3 right now also. So in the long grand scheme of things, we'd be at a lower life total currently. Definitely trading. Another land hit from Firewalker. At least a card they get to play. Triple Narfi engrave. Let's go. Can't get over how much better a priest would have been than a Narfi in this deck. Because we got 3. That is definitely the biggest pick during drafts that I'm like looking back on. Could have gone much better. I do like Ice Mine Pillar, but I only have 6 mana here, so I have exactly enough to play Draugr and Narfi, or Pillar and Narfi, so I'd rather play Draugr and Narfi, and I can play Pillar next turn. I mean, they're pressuring me with 2 potential damage if they dump all their mana into Mistwalker. So I think we're just bringing back Narfi and casting a Grim Draugr. Bring back Narfi first so I can attack with the Jarl, because I'm only blocking a 1-3, and I can block a 1-3 with a 4-3. So we'll attack Jarl here. They might not block with Vault Robber because they want to attack us for 1. Alright, looks like we get to kill the Mistwalker. And now we just drop Grim Draugr. I mean, now we have enough pressure. They're definitely not attacking. They're definitely on blocks here. Cinderheart Giant. Well, Icespine Pillar looking real good here. And Crush the Weak with a 3 toughness creature on their field, though. So I can tap down Cinderheart Giant and attack with everybody. If they don't block Grim Draugr, they die. Actually, I have exactly enough mana to tap down Cinderheart Giant, give Grim Draugr 1 more power and menace. They can't block it. That's 5 there and 4 on one of these. That is exactsies. Five menace damage and one of the 4s gets in. I was really nervous there about how I was going to survive the next turn. So once I saw that we had lethal that turn, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I mean, we definitely could survive with the pillar, but it would be real risky with how low we were at and how big that creature is. So 2 and 2. Nice and even so far. Let's see if we can keep on winning here. Rally this deck. I say keep on winning when we're like 50-50 wins and losses. But I think our last 2 games have been wins. So yeah, keep on winning. Let's rally this deck up. Here we are, round 5, with a completely unkeepable hand. And a pretty keepable one. No red mana, but red is the splash, so that's fine. Got plenty of early interaction. Got a Draugr Thought Thief to set up our draws. I think I actually get rid of Grim Draugr here, to be honest. But maybe I get rid of Wither Crown or Mists. Probably Mists before I get rid of Wither Crown. Yeah, I kind of like that. Opponent starts with a mountain. We're not playing a 2-drop, so we get to play our tapped Snowland here. We do have a 2-drop, but it's a removal spell, so we play it later. Red-black for telling a card. Crush the Weak coming up. If we hit a red source, could be good against red-black. Would I rather set up a Scry here, or drop out a creature that maybe gets menace? Next turn, I'm just going to play another 3-mana creature, most likely, so I probably just play the one that scries, because I won't have the mana up to give additional power. Scry into a Sinkhole? I don't think we actually want that. It's just another land here. We already have enough mana for everything we have. Toss it in the grave. Would be our 3rd snow mana to help cast Narfis, but don't think it's worth it. Especially because it's not a red source. If it were like a red-black land, we'd probably just be leaving it on top. Raiders Carve with no creatures to crew it yet means we're off to the races with an aggressive start against the red-black deck, which is pretty weird. Yeah, I mean, just start sending in. If they play any 3-mana creature next turn, they get to send a Raiders Carve at us. They would have to crew with both their creatures to hit with Carve. Frostbite on one of our creatures means that's probably going to be the play, though. There it is. Send it in. If they hit a land on top, they get to put it into play. They did not hit a land, so they're stuck on mana here. Could cast a Hailstorm Valkyrie. The fact that they're stuck on mana kind of makes me want to crush the week. Oh, I don't have red. I don't have red anyway. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I could Wither Crown a 2/1. We're definitely not doing that. I think we just cast Valkyrie then. Probably attack for 3. I'm not going to double block a 3/2 and a 2/2 onto their Carve. And I'm not going to trade these with 2/1s. Yeah, we're going to cast our Hailstorm Valkyrie, and we're really hoping to hit a red source. If we do hit a red source, we get to pump Valkyrie and then crush the week and still clear the board and keep Valkyrie out next turn. So, yeah. Send in the 3. I guess maybe I should have left Draugr back just to trade with a 2/1, because if the plan is to crush the week, Draugr's going to die to crush the week anyway. But we don't even know if we can do that, because we need to hit red for it. That is a good play for them. A 3-power creature to immediately crew Carve and let them send in with the 2/1s as well. Only attacking with 1 2/1 to hold off the Thought Thief here. I'm happy with that. I'm not trading for Valkyrie, so we take 6 down to 10. We did not hit a land, but we did not hit our red source, so we're somewhat even. Jarl can allow me to kill Raiders Carve. I can hit for 4 in the sky if I buff Valkyrie, but then I don't have the mana for the Jarl. I could Wither Crown the Coma's Faithful, so they have to actually throw their 2/1s at the Carve if they want to attack with it. Yeah, Wither Crown on Faithful doesn't seem that bad, because then they have to crew Carve with their 2/1s, because if they don't, I can block a 2/1 with a 4/4 Valkyrie. Like, if we're just playing for the defensive here. Although, maybe we're supposed to stay aggressive. Probably not. I mean, I'm down to 10 facing some pretty serious consequences for attacking all out. The thing that makes me want to try to be aggressive here is the fact that they still have so many cards in their hand and we know that they're not lands. But, like, if I just get aggressive here, I'm sitting with a 3/2 against 2 2/1s and a Carve, and I'm at 10 life. I don't think we can afford to be attacking with Valkyrie right now. Unfortunately. Firewalker. I love that they're just playing more creatures that could die to a Crush the Week. I'm very happy with that, although it's another creature that can crew Carve without tapping down their 2/1s. They might not attack with the 2/1s since I could block with Valkyrie here. They don't attack with the 2/1s. So I get to block Carve with Valkyrie, trade it for just that. Still don't love that. Might be where I'm at here. I go to 6 if I let this through. If I can crush the week, like literally next turn, their board is gone and my board is gone if I trade with Valkyrie. And then they have 5 cards in hand and I just have a Jarl. I think I just go all in on just drawing a mountain. Because if I draw a mountain, I can buff Valkyrie and then crush the week, and then I still have a board and they have nothing. That seems like the only way I could maybe win. It's not looking good here. That is real rough. Like, it is the red source, but... This is so bad. I block there, take... I mean, 4/4, so I block, take 4, go to 2. I do survive. Even if they all attack here. Crew on the carve. They do go for the all attack. We are crushing the weak next turn just 100%, so we absolutely kill Carve here with Valkyrie. At least I think. At this point, I think we have to. Yeah, because I take lethal if I don't. Yeah, we probably should have just done the trade last turn, although we're totally not winning this game. If they have Run Amok, we go to 1. Frostbite. That's pretty awful. Okay, so we just die. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, 2 and 3 it is. Still thought that was a pretty fun deck, and a cool draft overall as usual. Some very long games. We got a lot of time playing this game out of this draft, because we were just like a slower kind of controlling kind of deck. Take another look at it here. Definitely the biggest decision point in the draft that panned out poorly, and so in hindsight I feel was a mistake. Although I'm not sure if 100% would have been the Narfi we took over a Priest. We absolutely would have had a much better deck if we had just another Priest at 2 mana over a third Narfi at 5 mana. But other than that, I think this deck is pretty solid. We just did not draw our bomb that much. We drew it like 1 game, and just got outpaced like a little bit in a lot of the matches. Most games were very close except the very last game that we had. So, solid deck overall, some kind of Grixis snow control thing going on here. But, did not pan out for us in the end. So, as always, at the end of the video, I would like to thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more Magic Arena drafts and content, you're at the right place. Just stick around. I do these videos daily. Or if you want to see me live on occasion, I do stream some extra games at my Twitch channel in the link in the description. That is also the best place if you want to support the stream via like bits or subscription on Twitch. So, yeah, that's going to end today's draft. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow for some more Magic Arena content.